Let's get started with Kyle Rittenhouse crying. Kyle Rittenhouse, as Rittenhouse begins to describe Rosenbaum running towards him, breaks down on the stand. The judge had to call for a 10-minute break.
People right there.
Bro, let me just say something, okay? First of all, this kid's a demon, straight up. One, I said this last year when this event took place. Obviously, he's like a piece of shit. I mean, he's a gigantic piece of shit. He's a murderer. He will most likely get away with it. It is what is known as a legal kill. But also, on the other hand, if circumstances were different, Kyle Rittenhouse is, and I said this last year, you can literally look this up. He is the perfect person for rehabilitation. He's 17 years old. He got a legal kill and a legal maiming. But ultimately, he's so young that a system that is designed to rehabilitate people would be able to rehabilitate someone like Kyle Rittenhouse. It's not going to happen most likely because one, he's going to get away with it, and two, he's going to become like a senator or some shit. Ultimately, let's be real. He really wanted to commit murder. Yeah. Anyone that says, like, anyone that hides behind the legality of the situation or refuses to recognize that, like, this was a dude who very clearly, one, fantasized about fucking being in a kinetic situation where he could do an ocular pat down and like fucking gun down people, and then acted out on that desire that goddamn near every conservative has had and has like literally fucking talked about regularly, and then was able to secure 2 legal kills in a situation like that is delusional. Like, anyone who's like just trying to talk about this on like the law side of it is a fucking silly bitch. The judge is fucking bullshit. Obviously the criminal justice system is already bullshit too. So like this was cooked from the start. And from what I understand, the prosecutors weren't even that fucking good ultimately. But let's watch Kyle Rittenhouse fucking cry on the stand, talking about how he murdered people and like acted out on his fucking desires, which was to get legal kills.
And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski, and there were,
hold on, there is nothing there, like that doesn't show the actual fucking kill, but I just want to make sure that it's not, it's like right before it, so I don't want to show it.
There were 3 people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
He really looks like a pig. I mean, he's a pig. Like, bro, what is even the defense? The dude murdered 2 people for no reason. The defense is he is a good, wholesome white Christian boy who traveled to Kenosha specifically so he could defend someone else's fucking property. I mean, who amongst us has not done that? That's totally normal. And then was acting out in self-defense. Imagine risking your life for someone else's property. I mean, he wasn't even like technically risking his life. He was trying to get a legal kill. Like, that's what he was trying to do, and he got it. This is what happens when you get a fucking legal kill. Except the problem is everyone is also turning him into a hero. So this is like the greatest thing that could have happened to like internet conservatives, because this is their fantasy. This is like the psychopathic, bloodthirsty fantasies that they've all had. He's crying without getting tears. Is fake fuck. It doesn't even matter, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, this was a performance for the jury. Towards the end of his breakdown, just before the break, when Rittenhouse should have been the most distraught, he was glancing over to the jury with very calm eyes. Here's the clip of him looking at the jury. It's 100 times better. Bro, that's hilarious, dude. Okay, dude. Like, this motherfucker is not a victim, and this motherfucker is not like distraught. He literally did exactly what conservatives openly fucking fantasize about on the internet, which is go to a fucking riot situation, okay, with your weapon and shoot. That's why Chris Kyle openly lied about killing looters during Katrina off the top of the Superdome. Like, these are, if you've been following hogs like I have for a very long time, you immediately knew what the fuck was going on, okay? You immediately knew what the fuck was going on. This is a guy who acted on the desires that so many fucking conservatives have. This and literally driving over protesters, which is like an easier way to get a confirmed legal kill there. Those are the 2 things. So much so that like 90% of conservative media that has made memes about driving over Black Lives Matter protesters had to literally delete all of those fucking articles and those video compilations that they had made in the aftermath of Charlottesville, when Heather Heyer was murdered by a white supremacist terrorist who traveled all the way down the fucking Charlottesville and acted out on that desire of driving into a crowd of fucking anti-fascist protesters. So that's it. That's the reality. That's how it works. This is how you know the trial is cooked. Coming back from lunch, Kyle Rittenhouse's defense team argues that the prosecution is purposely aiming for a mistrial. Meanwhile, the judge's phone rings. The ringtone is Lee Greenwood's patriotic anthem, God Bless the USA. Oh, of course, dude. They're like, what? I have no opinion on this one way or the other. Fuck it, dude. Like, I don't know.
And if the court makes a finding that the actions that I had talked about were...
Dude, defense is literally laughing. They're just actually laughing. He smiled. He's like, it's such a wrap. Dude, this is such a layup. He's like, I cannot believe how much of a fucking layup this is. From day one, this judge was already fucking biased Andy. Like, you know.
Why would you think that that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished.
He's fucking laying into the prosecutor. Binger mentioned a previous time the defender had wished he had his AR-15 to protect property. Judge ruled pre-trial it's not coming in. Judge sent jury out and is screaming at Binger.
When you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest.
Like, I mean, the trial started off, if you want to understand like how this fucking works, the trial literally started off with the judge stating that you could not consider the dead victims, but you could technically consider them rioters and looters, which I would say is maybe a little bit, a little bit slanted in one direction.
Silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, well, I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what you're up to.
May I respond?
Yes.
We filed an other acts motion on this exact issue because, in my mind, and I argued this, it is identical to what was going on the night of August 25th, in the sense that the defendant was using this exact same weapon. He was using it in a manner to try and protect property.
No, he wasn't.
Your Honor, with all due respect...
I'm not going to rehash the motion. That's absolutely untrue. No. Your argument's of record. My comments are of record, and why I ruled as I did is of record. There's nothing that I heard in this trial to suggest anything's changed. Even if you're correct in your assumption that you know more than I did at the time, you should have come to the court and say, I want to go into this. Why you would think that you could go into it without any advance notice to the court, I don't understand that. And as the defense is pointing out, you're an experienced trial lawyer, and this should not have been gone into.
First world country, we are, dude, we are not, okay? My dude put out a performance that he didn't even need to do.
Pardon me?
That was before the defense testimony.
Don't get brazen with me.
Don't get brazen with me, don't ya know? The video not being allowed to be shown is literally Kyle the day before saying he would shoot protesters if he had his gun. I would like to see that video. I didn't even know that there was a video like that. Kyle Rittenhouse dreamed about shooting people days before the Kenosha video. Wait, is this the actual fucking... Oh.
It looks like one of them has a weapon. She hung up. Bro, I wish I had my AR. I'd start shooting rounds at them.
That's interesting. Yeah, that was not relevant, huh? Yeah, that seems to be irrelevant in a case where he did actually bring his AR the next day and did shoot at people. So that's kind of...
I see no similarity between talking about wishing you had your AR gun, which you don't have, so that you could fire rounds at these thought to be shoplifters, and the incidents in these cases, which are not... There's nothing in your case that suggests the defendant was lying in wait to shoot at somebody or reflecting upon the shooting for a vast amount of time. Every one of the incidents involves matters that involve seconds in time. So I commented at the time, I don't see the similarity, and I don't see the similarity now. If it's not similar, that's the whole rule.
I don't see how talking about wishing you had your gun to shoot is relevant to having your gun and shooting at a different date. The same gun.
That's what I...
on, bro. Come on, bro.
That's right, bro.
We're gonna just take it. Time for our break anyway.
Oh, you poor kid, don't you know? The verdict in this initial trial doesn't even matter. Will 100% be appealed? Bro, this kid is literally gonna fucking get away with it, okay? He's 17. They did a very good job of like hiding all of the prior things that you could use to, you know, build actively a character and his intentions, because ultimately the part of like the self-defense, that sticks. That's gonna stick. If you can't talk about the prior convictions that this person had, not like legally, I'm saying, the reason why he was there, you're never going to be able to fucking do anything with that case. His goal was to put himself in a situation like this so he could fucking go and shoot people, and he did. It is a very common conservative trope. It's a very common conservative desire, and he acted out those desires perfectly. Now, not only that, but the really scary part about this is that this is a super fucking common threat. So now you have other people who are going to behave in a similar capacity, okay, knowing full well that they will be hailed as heroes in the end and can get like a fucking a book deal out of it instead of criminal punishment. Are there instances where self-defense is valid? Of course. And I've talked about this endlessly in the beginning, like not at the beginning of this trial, but last year when this happened. Of course, if you are defending your own property and someone is trying to come in to your property, you of course have the right to be able to shoot someone. But that, in my opinion, that is not a broader interpretation where you can invoke self-defense, or knowing full well that you're going to invoke a self-defense argument, go to a different fucking state with a gun that you're not supposed to have, brandish it, and then fucking start blasting motherfuckers. And when people are like, holy shit, this is a shooter, and try to stop you, kill one more person and maim another in the process. Squirrel asks a very simple question that gets to the heart of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. If he were a black radical leftist who shot and killed 2 white right-wingers, would he be acquitted under any circumstances? Anyone who answers yes to that question is knowingly lying. We literally have this, by the way. This is not a hypothetical. And it doesn't even have to be a black person. It can be a white anti-fascist who shot and killed a Proud Boy, okay? A white supremacist Proud Boy who was fucking literally threatening other people with bear spray and like spraying people in Portland. Donald Trump literally had him assassinated. Donald Trump had him assassinated by the marshals and then flexed that he had him assassinated. Not allegedly, motherfucker. He literally said it. He's like, we're going to deal with him. We're sending the marshals, deal with him. And then they did. They dealt with him. They murdered him. Even thinking about this would get the trial stage defies belief. He'd have been taken down by cops in record time, unlike Kyle. The person who shot and killed the right-winger doesn't have to be black. Oh, never mind. They already posted it. Look, yeah. Hey, guys, remember when Donald Trump openly fucking admitted to this and flexed?
2.5 days went by, and I put out, when are you going to go get him? And the U.S. Marshals went in to get him. And in a short period of time, they ended in a gunfight. This guy was a violent criminal. A lot of them out there. And the U.S. Marshals killed him. And I will tell you something, that's the way it has to be. There has to be retribution when you have crime.
Yeah, he did that. He talked about it in rallies. People literally were just like hyped up about Trump killing this dude. Really amazing that the Michael Reynolds case got barely any coverage, including by so-called civil libertarians who were crying crocodile tears about Kyle Rittenhouse. Literally the state, on orders of the president, hunting down someone, murdering them, and then covering it up. White privilege doesn't quite capture the symbiotic relationship between state forces and far-right militias. Its right-wing white privilege allows a 17-year-old to murder leftists, pass by cops, and drive back to his home state, or aim to assault rifles at feds on live camera. I want to highlight that this clip from that thread on COINTELPRO, a decades-long FBI program that included the extrajudicial execution of leftists, like the 21-year-old chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton. I've talked about Fred Hampton a bunch. Here's another recent case of radical leftists being prosecuted and imprisoned for years for posting online about the need for self-defense. And you're crying about Kyle Rittenhouse and turning that into the major threat for civil liberties? It's a joke. Oh yeah, there was a Florida anarchist that literally is going to jail, like already, for posting about the need for self-defense. Daniel Baker made a call for armed defense against possible far-right attacks, and he literally fucking got a harsher sentence than the January 6th insurrectionists, and he got a harsher sentence than Kyle Rittenhouse. There's a reason why you don't hear about this shit, though, in the fucking mainstream media, because they don't give a fuck. There is no real, like, principled fucking stance here at all. Should we watch Louder with Crowder? I feel like he's gonna make me lose my mind. He's gonna melt my brain with his fucking incredible takes.
See, that's real.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
That's right, run.
You'll remember where you were when you saw this.
Time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break about 10 minutes.
All right.
And please don't talk about the case during the break.
All of you, just right now. First off, that just changed the case. Yeah. You will remember where you were when you watched it, and I'm glad that I was there to share that with you. Look, the kid's not a professional actor, and I don't think that's an Academy Award performance if he is. That's a kid who was overcome with emotion. And again, you're talking about a kid who was there to put out fires, to provide medical assistance, who was there because he saw a town on fire.
And genuinely feels bad that he hurt somebody who was trying to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who doesn't feel that way?
The ear gauge guy who didn't care at all, who sat there with dead eyes like it was no problem.
Well, not only that, but you know who doesn't feel that way? The person who runs up and points a gun at somebody who was not violent toward them. The person who puts on a mask and runs out behind a car screaming, "F you and I'll kill you," when they weren't aggressive towards them and corners them.
Or attacks people smaller and weaker that are turned around.
Right. God, my heart breaks for that kid. Yeah. But you know what? That's real. Maybe that's...
I thought the only person that could stop a bad guy with a gun was with a good guy with a gun, but it was literally, in this instance, a good guy with a skateboard. And this dude fucking murked him, right? And even then, you know, that's still also a bad guy. It's crazy.
You know what? This trial needs a little bit of authenticity. All of a sudden, when the veil of pomp and circumstance is lifted, and you just see this is a kid who
just a
had
child.
to make some tough decisions.
Just a child with tough decisions.
Who ultimately is going to have to live with this for the rest of his life. Unless you're a sociopath, your heart goes out to that kid. Even the media is trying to acknowledge that he's not a stone-cold killer, right? But think about this for a second. The kid was banned from GoFundMe. Posts praising Kyle Rittenhouse were removed from Facebook, from Twitter, under their guidelines of supporting mass shooting. They were caught videotaping the jurors this week. They're trying to dox the jurors. Here, do we have that clip of them? Here you go. Here's the judge talking about they were caught trying to pressure the jurors, to try and slant the jury. They're infringing on all of those. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, not to mention due process and a fair trial. Here is the judge talking about it yesterday.
This morning at the pickup, there was someone there and was video recording the jury, which the officers approached the person and required her, I didn't even ask.
Whoa, I think this is kind of petty. Like, conservatives are the pettiest motherfuckers on the planet, dude. They're petty white. They're Tom Petty. It's like, even when they clearly are winning, because the fucking system is designed in a way that, like, literally allows them to win. When the foundations of the system itself are slanted heavily in their favor and their worldview, even then they find a thing to cry about. It's wild. It is actually kind of creative when you think about it. It's like a liberal who gets mad at you when you're not like advocating for Joe Biden hard enough. You know what I mean? You have to like suck it up, tell people to vote for Joe Biden, but then also like make it seem like you enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, what more do you fucking want, dog? What more do you want? The judge basically did damn near everything other than say like, this kid's innocent. Fuck you guys for even, you know, wasting my time here. And they're still finding shit to fucking cry about, dude. 17-year-old's a kid, by the way. And he is a kid. Like, let's be real. Kyle Rittenhouse, this is a very sad state of affairs considering that he is 17. He is a fucking kid. He's a murderer, but he's a kid. But that very same empathetic language is never extended to victims of police violence when they are black by conservatives. We know motherfuckers will literally, even in like the impartial or rather liberal mainstream media, when people talk about like 12-year-old victims, 13-year-old victims, 14-year-old victims, a 13-year-old man, 14-year-old man. I've heard Sean Hannity literally say that. We have the absolute worst fucking legal system. My point isn't that like this is not self-defense. My point is that he actively placed himself in a situation and brandished a weapon as an agitator with a gun, specifically so he could get a self-defense trial going. It's the same mentality as motherfuckers who rage out in states where there's a castle doctrine that extends beyond just your house with self-defense laws, like the George Zimmerman case, for example, where someone who is acting as a vigilante acts out on those desires of killing someone in caught in a crime or whatever the fuck, and gets away with that murder. It's a legal kill that you can get. Conservatives fantasize about this regularly. The prosecutor is drawing blood on Rittenhouse. His cover story about why he was wandering around with an AR-15 doesn't add up.
Fair to say that after the police pushed everybody south to 60th, you never saw any people threatening that property, correct?
I didn't see anybody.
That's such an idiotic thing that the prosecutor has to go along with too. Like this notion that that's a reasonable instance where you can be running around with a fucking AR-15 and brandish it. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I was defending someone else's property. Like only in America can you say that. In every other fucking country, if you're like, sorry officer, I had a fucking literal like AR-15, like a fucking long barrel rifle with a magazine that holds 30 rounds, and I was walking around with it because I wanted to defend someone else's fucking property. Be like, get the fuck out of here. You're going to jail, bitch. The fuck do you mean? But in America, we're like, we have to act like that's normal. And that's so psychotic to me. I'm here to tell you, we don't have to act like that's normal. It's wild that like we have to play make-believe amongst ourselves to make it seem like someone could just be like, I'm a 17-year-old, I have an AR-15, I'm not supposed to have it, but that AR-15 that is like capable of fucking murking multiple people with ease, that gun I'm not even supposed to have, I can go over fucking boundaries, state lines, and protect someone else's property. And we have to go along with that. Like, that's a reasonable fucking thing to say. It's nuts.
And your goal that night, you took it upon yourself to protect the 59th Street property, correct?
The owners asked.
Sure. But you were going to station yourself at that property to try and protect it from damage. Fair?
Wait, the owners asked? Isn't that a lie? Didn't the owners literally say that they did not ask? Am I wrong? They fucking didn't, right? That's a lie, isn't it? They literally said that they didn't they?
The car source locations, yes.
And once the police had pushed everybody south of that, there was no more danger.
At that car source location, yes.
Okay. So why not go home at that point?
Because the police were still pushing people back, and then they were backing up, and I was still helping people provide medical first aid.
Okay, so the police had established the line at 60th with their Bearcats at that point, right?
Yes.
And there was no indication that they were going to reverse and back up and move back north again. That you
The
saw.
funniest part about the fucking medic thing is that, like, what is this, dude? You think it cancels out? Like, what is this is this a game? Is this like a Nintendo Switch baby game or something? Like, well, I was there to save some people's lives, even though I have no medical qualification to do so. But I did bring I did bring a medic bag. So, if I save one person's life with a medic bag, even though I didn't, that cancels out the kills. Everybody knows that. I leveled up with the kills. This is an exploit. You kill someone and then you save someone else's life, and that way the kill is you get the experience from the kill, but you don't actually fucking end up seeing the legal consequences. He's power gaming, which is why he should be arrested regardless, but he's glitch hacking, he's power gaming, he's basically duping XP by getting XP from the revive and also XP from the kill. I would ban him. That's a VAC ban, I think.
Correct?
No, they did it earlier in the night where they did the same thing.
Right, but this is at 11:30, 11:40 at night, and they've established that, the police have established that line, and as far as you can tell, it's going to stay there, right?
I don't know.
And you talked about trying to provide medical help, but there's no one around that needs medical help at the 59th Street car source at that point, is there?
Not that I noticed.
So you don't have any purpose there anymore, do you?
Other than...
So why not go home?
Because I was going to help people provide first aid and medical assistance.
Sorry, sir. In the United States of America, as a consequence of recent ALEC and NRA lobbying efforts, we have decided that AR-15s have medical healing properties. You now are ordered by the judge to behave and suspend your belief that the AR-15 is a killing machine and instead is actually a healing machine, as is the law. Okay, we decided that you are now a mercy main. Okay, you have a fucking mercy gun. So when you shoot your AR-15, it doesn't actually shoot bullets. It shoots fucking patches. Okay, it shoots bandages. So that's what I was gonna do. That's what I was there to do. That's Anna. Oh, whatever. I don't play video games. Video games fucking cause violence, as is the case that the prosecutor really greatly made when talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. What a fucking incredible opening statement by the prosecutor, by the way. Like, just immediately disproven narratives. Holy fuck. That, like, video games cause violence. What is this, 1998, dude? What the fuck's going on? Kyle Rittenhouse celebrating pre-trial, wearing a free as fuck. Yep, he was so scared. Oh, wait, here he is celebrating wearing his special shirt. Throwing up the fucking white power sign, too. Oh, that's interesting.